And joining me in the commentary box right now for our next game is Ross Thomas, who did you play earlier, Ross, or you just been out selecting for the Australian, or all of the above?
No, I've just come off a final and we had a narrow one-point loss. So yeah, just trying to warm up now. Glad to be in the commentary box.
Well, mate, it's good that you can come up here and dust that loss off in a final, and we can get your professional input, mate. So, gee, quick game here. Straight away you can see it's the men's 20s. All of a sudden it's gone up a couple of levels, and there's a quick 50-10 to start us off.
What a great start from the Central Coast boys. That's a great kick. Perfect start for them. Yeah, there's a lot of speed, even though the ball's slippery even though the ball's slippery and the ground's a little bit boggy, they're still playing fast Oztag from the very beginning.
Some of the skill level we've seen here today, when it was almost ankle deep of water there early in the morning, was amazing. They're all backing themselves, these young blokes and these young ladies. So right now we've got the men's 20s and almost an opportunity there, but the Dolphins managed to shut that one down. And so the Central Coast obviously in the dark blue, because it could have been light blue on light blue. So the Central Coast working towards that eastern touchline now. Referee puts his hand up, says last. So the Dolphins with a chance here now.
Really good defence there by the Dolphins, Jeff. They had to withhold the Central Coast. And the boy playing the ball now, I think it's Jordan Enderman, made a brilliant tag. The guy tried to get over him and he just made a brilliant tag that saved the try.
Oh, nice ball. Have a look at this as they make their way down the western touchline. He just floated that one straight in. There was good hands here from Blaine Potter. They make their way back to the middle. And, geez, they've almost got an overlap here. So they've gone from coast to coast. There's a little kick through, and they've backed themselves, but there's plenty of cavalry coming from the Central Coast. And there's a bit of a clash there. He's claiming the try. And you heard the referee say he's happy with that.
Yeah, he got complete control of the ball, and then the player was, it was pretty hard. It's a boggy, muddy field, and you're going hard, but he sort of tried to tag him around the shoulders. And because he made control of the ball and he went to the ground, that is a try. And I think that the referee's got it 100% right.
He sure did.
Well,
if you want to keep going, I can penalise you. So.
You can see there's still a little bit of a challenge there from the Central Coast players, and referee having a little chat to them. So you can see here, he puts a tap through and backs himself. Regathers. It was the number 2. Damon Husky, was it the number 2 for the Dolphins? I'm sure it was.
It was really smart play by him too. He was running out of room and he put the kick in, and that's great. Like, great field position, and he comes up with a try. Brilliant work.
He's fallen over 4.
So the Dolphins open their account at 1-0, and we're about 4.5 minutes into the first half here of the men's 20 grand final. So the Dolphins looking for space. They take it to the middle on after that kick downtown, and it seems to be a bit of a tactic, Ross, that they're all been kicking early. I've watched over today in this rain.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect tactic, and that's their number 6. The Central Coast has done a couple of great kicks, and it's a perfect tactic. Get the opposition coming off their own line, and there's an early kick that's gone into Central Coast, and let's see what the referee calls here.
You made a play at it.
Okay, so a good result for the Dolphins.
Yeah, a good result for the Dolphins, as you said, a lucky or a good one.
When you're ready, go.
So the Dolphins will play it there with a fresh set.
1.
And yeah, you were saying, so yeah, it seems to be they kick it down, try and force an error, or if they get a 50-10, it's just better field position, isn't it? Like, you can't score from down that end of the field.
And the way the conditions have been today, like, it's only very light rain, if there is any at the moment, but the way the conditions have been, and this is good move.
Here they are in the space again. Sorry, Ross, yeah, you were saying with the light rain?
Yeah, with the light rain, it's definitely the way to play the game, and the Dolphins are just burning them with a little bit more speed at the moment.
Backwards.
So a little bit of confusion there.
Knocked on off you guys over the line, 10 metres.
And I can see David Canar's just come on and injected a little bit there. One of the Shire boys playing in the Dolphins team.
Yep, for those at home, the Dolphins are a combination of like southern Sydney, places, Cronulla, South Sydney, that area, and of course the Central Coast, as we know, north of Sydney.
And of course, at State Cup, South and it's quite often South and Sutherland Shire are into each other, but here they are playing united as a team here.
That's correct, and a lot of people to pick from as well. I feel like, Central Coast are going to grind their way back into this game, and there's good ball movement down the short side.
Yeah, beautiful, and it seems to be working for them.
Hold. Go, what's the early 77?
So Sunny Coast now make their way centre field, a little bit flat for mine, but they're going for the quick hands, and it seems to be working. And the referee says play on. And I noticed he was flashing his hand for 6 again, so he obviously saw a touch there on the ball. So now they'll go coast to coast. It seems to be working both teams. Against the grain, comes back into the middle.
Good tag.
Tag by the Dolphins there. And now they'll go towards this eastern touchline, one off the ruck. And they're about 12 metres out on the attack now. First time we've seen an attacking raid here from the Central Coast. And a little double shuffle, double pump. But Kennard's not falling for that one. So this time they'll come back to the right. They swing around. Jeez, I tell you what, that nearly confused me how the ref called that one. There was a wrap around and a player in front. I don't know if someone was impeded or whatever there, Ross, but geez, it happened real quick.
Yeah, it's a good play and great defence, though. Really impressed with the Dolphins' defence. The Central Coast threw a lot at them in that set, and they got the repeat. And that's the way you win big games, is to defend better than the opposition.
Back here, 15.
Well, the Dolphins in front here, 7 minutes into the first half. The men's 20s grand final. It's the Dolphins taking on the Central Coast.
2, don't go too early, go. Better.
So the Dolphins are nothing happening there towards the centre. Bang, they tap through. Where's the kick chase? Well, here comes the winger, and the Central Coast, well, they're back waiting for that one. So they'll defuse that one.
Wasn't a great setup then by the Dolphins for the kick, but it ended up being a reasonable kick. And if you got your opposition 10 to 12 metres from their own line, it's not such a bad result.
Yeah, not a bad result, yeah.
Inside.
So they got their kick away, and that was the main thing. And speaking of kicks away, there's one right now from the Central Coast, looking for that field position. So they'll get it down here and hopefully try and force an error. But I see the Dolphins, they're trying to run into open space. So the kick's only as good as its chasers, Ross.
100%, and that was a good chase. And it was the kicker who followed his own kick as well, with a bit of help. But, gee, there's some fast boys out there, Jeff.
Oh, there's some pace out there. I know a couple of these young kids. And Kennard, he offloads. He looks like his twin brother here with the cap back, who wraps around and almost gets himself into a hole down this western touchline. They'll play it back now. The Dolphins work their way to the centre. Nice. I thought he was going to go the ball straight off the hip there. So fifth and last. It comes back to this western edge. They look for something. Lazy defence. It comes off a foot.
He got behind.
He got behind. That's the call from the ref.
It's very difficult making these calls on the run for the referee, and I hope people listening and watching can hear the referee through the microphones. They may not be able to, but his talk is excellent. The players know exactly what's happening and where they stand.
Mate, I'm not one to give all refs a big rap, but I'll give them a rap today because the communication and everything has been outstanding. And there's a great kick. And that just sat right up that he had to play it at the Dolphins player, and he'll go to ground just there, coming off his try line, about 10 metres in. So Dolphins now, there's just got to hold on to the ball, get out of this danger zone, and then, yeah, like you said, maybe get some field position with a big kick downtown.
Inside, give 10 cap.
Yeah, it wasn't their best set, but you know what? It was good pressure by the Central Coast with a great kick, and here's a chance.
Well, they've got a reward out of it. They've just been handed the ball on the halfway, and he's been tagged right there, 10 metres past it. So a fresh set there, and some good communication also from Central Coast with telling the players to come against the grain. So they're obviously not panicking at 1-0, and 11 minutes remaining. And there's a nice quick tag out of dummy half by the Dolphins. So they shut that play down quick smart. So they'll work their way to the eastern touchline now. This time they'll come back inside, looking to settle and set up for something. So Central Coast, this time western touchline, wraparounds. Looks like a bit of a move. And well diffused by the Dolphins. And he's managed to get a foot to it.
No, your shirt's untucked.
So he's pulled him up for a shirt out.
7, you got to play the ball. Tag 1, shirt's untucked.
So the Dolphins have been pulled. We've seen this a couple of times today, Ross, where the shorts have been too loose or the shirts are out. And fair enough, you know, it can be, it can help a team at times.
Yeah, for sure. It was the right call by the referee. Here's a move.
So here we go right now, and I thought he was going to back himself, but he's gone with a step inside, and unfortunately he can't get to the try line. That's Ethan Barker. He should have just pinned his ears back, I thought, and just backed himself. So now they'll make their way. Nice little wraparound ball. Cuts a player out, comes back against the grain inside, but, geez, the defence also good for the Central Coast. And they go short. Oh, spins around, but tags off again. Good defence. Dolphins now with a raid. Momentum shift. They're 1-0 up. Come back towards the middle. Untagged. He manages to get him now on the second one. And that's a change over there. Not a bad place to finish a set.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a great moment for the Central Coast. They're 1-0 down. That was their moment to stay in this game. Not that they would be completely out of it, but that was their moment. They have to be 1-0 and hopefully the next to score. That was excellent defence by the Central Coast.
Yeah, well, it's certainly been good, D, on both sides. But right now, here we go. The Central Coast have downtowned it, and it's bounced again. It's a great field position. He's had to play it again, Ethan Barker, and another great kick. Was that Sam?
I think that might have been Zach's son. I think the number 3. That was
Zach's son. Yeah, right.
Excellent kick. Yeah, in the circumstances. I think it's starting to rain again now.
I didn't take note of the kicker, but I just saw that was a great kick, and they're really asking the question. Well, the Dolphins have turned around and asked the question, but see, that kick didn't go as deep. It's not bad, but it didn't go as deep. They obviously think there's an advantage, and just getting it down near the try line.
Yeah, gee, the chase made that into a good kick.
No, you're milking it.
So they'll make their way towards the centre now, the Central Coast. Here they come, back to the left side. Western, bang, there goes that kick again. And it's right to that same corner. It's just a sitter. And gets there for a 50-10.
It's gone out. 50-10.
And that's a great kick. Was that again the number 3?
No,
was that son or was the number 2?
Jaden Morgan.
Jaden Morgan.
Yeah, what a kick. They're little game changers here. And both teams are conscious of their kicking game.
Interesting, they didn't really celebrate it, did they? They're here to do business.
Yep.
So the men's 20s, they're not celebrating early. And they're currently trailing the Central Coast by 1 point to 0. 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half. In the men's 20s, and some great razzle-dazzle, and he's gone to ground with another great defensive tag there by the Dolphins. Like you said earlier, Ross, the defence has been great on the try line, and there's an error, and they've got a reward for it.
Yeah. It's hard work out there. Like, I'm so impressed with some of the skills at the moment. Like, that's probably the first drop ball that we've seen in this game. Raining now, boggy field, ball's getting slippery, running at fast pace. These boys are doing exceptionally well with their skills.
Well, that first try that the Dolphins scored, it went coast to coast. Now, there's another 50-10, and it's a cracker. Right into the western touchline, deep down there. Into that southwestern corner, and the Dolphins have come up with a massive advantage right there with 6 minutes before half-time, Ross.
It's like both coaches have given their teams the same instructions. We're playing it down their end no matter what. I don't care if you kick on the second, the third. What a great kick. I'm not sure who that one was by. Got a feeling it might have been Taj Lever, the 77, but not completely sure. I was watching the ball a little bit more.
Go around, go around.
So Potter plays it back now, and the Dolphins, they wrap around. Looks for a spin, but nothing doing there for Corey Booth.
Go, thank you.
And leave her in the dummy half. So this time they'll go to that eastern touchline again. The Dolphins looking for something. There's only 1 point in this. It's a cracking men's 20 final. And as it always is, and there's a nice try. He goes down low and dives, and the tag's off, and an absolute try saver by the Central Coast, Ross.
Brilliant tag, wasn't it, Jeff? Defence wins your championships.
And here we go, short side again, and yeah, the tag was well off, but that play before, that kid was in mid-flight like Superman, and to be able to tag that moving target at speed was a phenomenal try saver.
Yeah, how do they do it? That was outstanding. Young skills and hand-eye coordination, it's brilliant.
Working here.
Yeah, well, as Bill said, one of the blue ribbon events in the 20s, and the mixed opens that we saw earlier, and the 20s mixed division as well. But right now, here they go, looking for an opportunity down this eastern touchline, and the Central Coast, well, they need to get some points on the board to level this up. So it's 1-0, the Dolphins hanging in there, but another raid here from the Central Coast. They go coast to coast.
We're here, lads, hold.
And they make their way to this western touchline. That's a fifth and last. Referee puts his hand up, and this time they'll go with the cutout. They look against a grain wraparound, but not too well executed. And Kennard's come up with it. And I know David Kennard and the whole Kennard family, actually.
Right.
That's why I could call him, because I know the kid. But I was very careful how I said that. So here goes Kennard again. And he's a skill, actually. He's played for Australia as well. So the Dolphins now.
Jeez, I hope the whole family are watching after that big rap.
I know his dad would, mate. Don't worry about that. His dad normally comes up here, but he'd be glued to the TV telling himself how good he's going. So let's get back to some footy. It's the Dolphins down the left edge here. And almost an opportunity. And they're in front, 1-0. The men's 20s final. Of course, the Dolphins are always strong in this division. So here they go. They make their way out. And this time it goes to Lynch. He looks for Kennard, but there's an error.
And again, that's probably the second error we've had in 16 minutes of football with lots of ball movement at great speed on a wet ground. It's really outstanding.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
one error each.
Great footy.
Hold, go.
So Central Coast now with an opportunity, and like I said, they didn't celebrate when they did some good tactics down here. There was just we're here for business, and I like their body language. You know, I just like where they're at mentally. They're not panicking. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
At 1-0, they feel they're in this, and they're just making their way up towards the halfway now. They're just 10 shy of that, and 3.5 minutes remaining. Nice little chip and chase. The tag was missed, and he's pulled up there. So here they go now. They'll go to this western edge. There's a nice little chip through there. There's a good kick chase as well. And the Dolphins have to play at it, and good field position at the end of that set too also, Ross.
Well, really interesting there in that last set. The Dolphins had both wingers back covering the exceptional kicks that Central Coast have been getting away. So that must have been a directive from the coach. But what it does do is open up opportunities for Central Coast to run it now from halfway.
Tag second first, last.
So there's the last, and well, is that an error that they've handed it over there? They didn't get their kick away.
So it's still the Dolphins' ball.
Oh, it's Dolphins' ball.
The dummy half got out down the short side, 2 kick, but he was tagged
fifth
before
and
he
last
kicked
now.
it. Yeah.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah.
I thought he called fifth and last.
Yeah.
I was going to say, to not get your kick away from down there,
Yeah.
that's asking for trouble. But he gets one away, and it goes about 20 on the bounce. And here go the Central Coast looking for a bit of space. The defensive line's up from the Dolphins. They'll work their way back to the middle now. We're in the men's 20s grand final. It's the Central Coast trailing by 1, looking for opportunity. 2.5 minutes remaining in this grand final in the first half. The Dolphins shut that one down. This time they go for a kick again. They seem to be peppering this corner, this northwest corner. That one's gone a little bit too big.
Yeah, it's a fairly flat field, but there might be just a little bit of breeze favouring that corner and a fraction of a slope towards the fence, but they're definitely favouring it, that's for sure. And just looking at the flags in the background, I can see why with a bit of the movement of them into that corner with the breeze.
Yeah, I'm calling it 10 to 12 kilometres, Ross. I'm going to take a punt on that one.
Yeah,
10 to 12 out of the southeast.
I would have said 11.5, but I think you're pretty close, Jeff.
Yeah, on the money. So here we go right now. They're making their way towards the eastern touchline, and they'll come back this time to the other side, back to the middle. And the Dolphins through Woods. Shoot it out of dummy half. It's got options there. Players under, and the defence right up. Read that well. And they shut that play down. Kennard out of dummy half. They put a kick through. This time Lynch taps it down there. And straight away that's picked up by Central Coast on the sideline here on the western side in front of our broadcast box. There's a little dummy. They go for the quick play the ball, try and get an advantage. And there's definitely players struggling to get back at the back end of this half. A minute remaining. And it's the Dolphins 1 and Central Coast 0. And well in this game. Been big momentum shifts. Nice little dummy kick and throws it. Gave himself up, Ross, didn't he?
Yeah.
All he had to do was bend his ears, but it was a touchy there. But the body language.
I think he heard the touches call as well, and that was a linesman's call. And that's great in these very close games to have officials on the sideline. You can't have enough officials for the preliminary rounds. But once we get here, we've got enough referees to have those sideline eyes.
Yeah, you'd hate to see one. You'd hate to see one go through unnoticed and no touchy there.
Yeah, and every ball player including myself, always thinks their passes have gone backwards or flat, but sometimes they don't get called that way.
Yeah, 100%. So a nice little kick through. Is it a late tag? He said play on. Yep, and he's called the penalty. So the referee there, and I'm sorry, they haven't put his name down on this sheet. We'll try and get it for the next game for the referee, but I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this referee, and I don't know his name. But the siren's gone in the background, and the referee will blow his whistle on what's been an outstanding first half under some boggy conditions. It's the Dolphins 1 leading Central Coast 0 in the first half here of the men's 20s division grand final, Ross.
What a cracker it is, Jeff. Firstly, referee, outstanding. Both teams, outstanding, given the conditions. Coach's instructions, perfect. And it's just like a good, fast start by the Dolphins that's got them on top. This is really clever play as you see the ball being shifted left. The young man who gets the ball, I'm not sure of his name, gets it here, starts running out of space, and then he puts the left foot kick in. That would be a great kick anyway.
Damon Arski,
right. Well, it's a great chase by him. Look at him overpowering a couple, gets his hands to it. Bit of a head-high tackle around there, and it's tough for the defender. But you clearly saw it on the vision. The ball went down. He still has his tags on.
It was interesting. You had the mixed team exiting from the game before, right where he scored, and one of the girls blew the whistle motion. So yeah, great stuff, and everyone supporting their teams up here.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a great community. And if there's nothing better than seeing a team play that's in your colours, and you've just had a game, whether you've won or lost, you know, you're always supporting your colours.
Yeah, look, the support for your other teams in your division. I'm from down south of Sydney, from the Illawarra Steelers South Coast group, and you know, just the support from everyone is fantastic, and everyone appreciates too that it's hard yards today, you know, with the wet, and we played a semi-final that was just, you know, continually raining and lots of puddles on the field. Fortunately, these grounds that we're viewing these games are holding up okay, but they are slippery underfoot. So, but the boys are holding their footing really well.
So you can see the crowd all here to watch the men's 20s, and here we go, the boys holding their jerseys up. So we've restarted the second half here, and it's the Dolphins 1 over the Central Coast 0 in the men's 20s grand final. Wherever you're joining us, why not let us know? Send us a comment. We've had people from Cambodia, from Kenya, from Italy, New Zealand, Tonga, and all over the place. So great to have your company wherever you're watching, even if you're in your lounge room, sitting in Sydney, as we see some great football on display in some pretty damp conditions. The Central Coast now to take it out from their try line. And they'll take a couple of settles there, work their way to the middle, play it safe, and I would imagine they'll get a kick away, as they have been before the end of this set. The Kennard double tags, and there's the kick, but that's a little bit big. First error we've seen from a kick, Ross.
First kicking error, and what a great set it was from the Dolphins too. They got to their kick on about the third play, maybe the fourth, but that's the first kicking error we've seen. So the Dolphins, it's just a little advantage to them here in the first couple of minutes of the second half.
So Potter out of dummy half there. He finds a Dolphins player here towards his eastern touchline. Little jink and jank, some lightning little feet there from Enderman, I think that was, for the Dolphins. Make their way to the centre. They've got something set here. They've got a play set here to the left. So he jumps out of dummy half, goes right, comes back to the left. I don't know if that was meant to go that way, but it looked like they had some sort of block play set up here on the western side, but they've gone back to the right. I don't know if that was the right way to go, but I'm not going to knock them back because they're close to the try line here with another attacking raid, the Dolphins. Central Coast fending them off. 1-0. We've only chinked the armour once. So Kennard gets it, does a little jink, inside ball, chips it through, but well picked up, and eyes for the ball just for the Central Coast there. Diffuses that one, Ross.
Yeah, great recognition too. Great defence again, and the recognition was from Lockie Simpson, the way he turned, grabbed the ball and stayed in the field of play without getting tagged over the line. Excellent. Now, I think maybe we might be going back to that. Maybe the linesman has called that he was actually over the line, so it was very close, but I think the linesman's called that.
Well, I didn't see if that was called just after the play or the play before, but they seem to go back a couple of plays. But I guess he's got to go to his touchy if he's running in with his flag up.
Yeah, it's good. If you're going to have touch judges, you need to get them involved and listen to what they say, you know, if they're close to the ball.
Especially if their eyes are closer than yours.
Yep.
So the Dolphins now with an opportunity. They come to this Western touchline, switch it back in. Kennard gets it. He throws a cutout ball and hits it with a bit of pace, but doesn't manage to get through. Is there a jump there from Enderman?
I think there was a grab of the shorts first.
Yeah, the short grab. Okay. So quick tap here. Kennard goes down, looks for a quick play of the ball. Oh, nice little manoeuvre out of dummy half there. They come to this Western touchline, and he's pretty quick around, and he runs down low, that Corey Booth. So here they go now. Dolphins just can't seem to chink the armour here. The Central Coast defence been strong. And he goes down low, but look at that. Both tags off. That diving tag. It's so hard to get. Dolphins, they shoot out this time to the right. Kennard gets it. They wrap around. Nice cut-out ball. Throws it to the winger like a planned move. It looks like he gets there. Off a Kennard pass. The referee looks to it, blows the spot. So, the Dolphins increase their lead at 2 points to 0. And, oh, geez, that just happened too fast for the Central Coast. Ross, we'll see it on the replay.
Yep. It was a great little run around, great little move, and he created the overlap and then a beautiful pass to the winger.
And that was the key you'll see here. So 68, Kennard holds it, and then he just cuts out that player who ran a decoy and back to 66, and then the winger goes in the corner.
Yeah, he had the lead runner there, and he got out the back of the lead runner, and looked like the pass actually came off the hand of one of the Central Coast boys. So there was some great defence there from the Central Coast, and then, you know, unfortunately just a little better attacking play by the Dolphins to get the try.
Yeah, unfortunately I missed the number. I was all tangled up in that one. I missed the number. It wasn't 2 or 5 because they're over this wing, both of them. 2 and 5 are over here, and I'm thinking
so fast.
I'm thinking it might have been 3. Well, it's quality football, quality Oztag. Look at this for a little chip and chase. They've almost turned defence into attack straight away. So late tag, geez, I would love to have seen that played on. I would have played it on, but they're all happening fast as well. Jeez, Ross, it's all happening.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So, anyway, yeah, so Central Coast there with an opportunity to look. They're only trailing by 2. There's 15 minutes remaining here. And, again, the mental strength of the Central Coast, they don't seem panicked, you know. They just seem to be, they obviously feel they can just grind away and things will come.
They just need to be the next to score now. They don't have to panic, but they've just got to be the next to score,
100%.
you know, the next 5 or 6 minutes.
100%. You spoke about that big moment of defence in the first half. And here is a big moment in attack, and it looks like they're going to work their way to the sideline. He's bumped his tag out. As you know, they get a bit wet and heavy, and they can come off, especially if there's a shirt dangling over it. So here they go now, the Central Coast. So make their way to the middle, come back against the grain. There's a cutout ball over the top of the little rainbow. Throws it to the sideline. Oh, and a nice tackle by the Dolphins. And he goes tag off before the tackle. He definitely wrapped himself around that one. He did it one-handed, but he diffused it. That's all he wanted, was to stop the try. So it was a try saver. Look at this quick ball, his catch and pass. So that's the last change over, and that's one of those 50-50 calls. Could have gone any way, Ross.
Yeah, but he said the tag was off first, and then the pass actually inside hit a Dolphins player. Would have been 6 to go, but he called the tag off for the last play. And again, Dolphins in the lead. I reckon third play is about the time to kick it right downfield again. Let's see what they come up with.
Well, there's number 2. Let's see where they go from here. So they come back to the middle. There's 3. Will they downtown it early? The Dolphins in front, 2-0. And there's some great professional input here from one of the veterans, and I mean that with all due respect. Ross Thomas joining me in the recently inducted in the Australian Hall of Fame, correct?
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Here's a turning point.
There's a turnaround, but he's got a tag off.
Unlucky.
And that was a play that had to be made by the Central Coast. Had to be made, and it would have turned the game around if his tag was on.
100%. Yeah, he's so unlucky. I think he just brushed it off. I don't think it was taken.
So that's interesting. That play the ball. He went for the quick play the ball.
That was surrendering that goal.
Oh, the tag wasn't off. Is that what it was?
He stopped on the mark with that. You've got to be moving forward and not just surrendering completely.
So the Dolphins now, this time they make their way back to the middle. That's the bloke, the twin brother of Kennard, because he looks just like him with the same cap on backwards. He's built the same too. So that's knocked down right there, and that'll be 6 again for the Dolphins in a great attacking position.
Yeah, I'd love one of those boys to score a try, Jeff.
Yeah. So it's 2-0. 2-0 in favour of the Dolphins. And here they are on the attack now. 12 minutes remaining, so still some time on the side there for the Central Coast. But as you said, Ross, they really need to get points and get them next.
Yep. Yeah, that's great ball movement. And everyone seemed to know their role there.
Yeah, good execution.
Excellent.
So this time the Dolphins just working their way safely down that eastern side. They'll come back towards the centre. They'll look to go to the short side, but nothing doing there. So 5th and last call by the ref. They go down the short side. There's opportunity. They're 3-on-2, but just not enough room there. He goes play on, but not played at.
Wasn't the perfect finish, but still, you know, it's not a bad place to give the ball over. They're 15 out from their line. But, yeah, perhaps could have been better if he got the little kick away through the line.
So the Central Coast now on the attack, and they really need to pull a rabbit out of their hat and be the next to score, get themselves back into this game.
I feel like they've got a try in them, Jeff, and here's a chance.
Yeah, well, there was some quick hands there, and I just thought he should have passed at that number 10. Unfortunately, Jarvis MacArthur went himself. I thought the winger was unmarked, but look at this coast-to-coast ball movement. Back against the grain, so razzle-dazzle. So Central Coast have gone up a cog here. That was a 5th and last has just been called.
I think he's actually given them 6 to go. I don't think the Dolphins got back on side.
Is that what it was? He's waving 6 again. Well, let's see if Dolphin can handle the raid. And there's a tag off there. So defended by the Dolphins. This time they come back towards the centre. Western side. Nice. Jinx. Dummies. 6 again. So the pressure building. The Central Coast, can they take advantage here? They've had plenty of possession here, and they're in a great attacking position with a heap of tags up their sleeve. Dummies, short side out of dummy half. Finds a cutout player. Has a decoy come under.
We're here and hold.
They're coming from the touchline. The Central Coast now. They've really got to pull something out. I don't know. Do they look for the little kick behind? The defence is just up, straight up. It's all over them, the Dolphins. And they're just holding their own. And the Central Coast, they just don't know how to break this chink in the armour.
It's great defence, Jeff. Great defence.
So here they go. There's that little kick we just spoke about in the regather, but the defence too good. Too good by the Dolphins, and they've diffused that attacking raid. And there was plenty there, Ross.
Yeah, critical tag there by the number 5. I think it's Ryan Giurinario. What a great tag. He came in, and that was a good little kick from the Central Coast. I do feel like they've got a try in them, Jeff. I'm hoping so anyway, for a good close finish.
So the Dolphins in front, 2 over the Central Coast, 0. Still got time on their side, the Central Coast, to get themselves back into this game. And it's been tit for tat also in this second half with these kicks. Central Coast, so they're about 10 just off their own try line now, making their way back towards the middle.
That's 2. Take the setback, thank you.
Dolphins in front, 2-0. It's the men's blue ribbon event, the 20s. It'll be a big celebratory either way. Whoever gets it, there's some nice quick hands. And the Central Coast look good here down this eastern touchline. There's a nice little kick through as well. And he doesn't manage to get the regather. And he goes, play on. He gave him a little bit of a push and a shove, and the ref just said, nah, play on. Well, he's allowed to grab the ball and run behind the dead ball and run it out, isn't he, Ross?
Yeah,
that's all he did.
Exactly the right call by the referee.
And the other player turned it up because he thought, oh, well, I didn't regather that. I think he thought it was dead because he ran beyond the try line.
Yeah, I think he thought the Dolphins guy too was blocking his run, but they're both allowed to chase it. I don't know about that kick, Jeff.
Yeah, nah, too early, too soon. Oh, unlucky. Weather conditions.
He's sliding away from everyone, and he's gone out. No, he's not in tagging distance. Play the ball here, 21.
Well, what a brilliant kick. Like I said, that's a brilliant kick.
Yeah, wow.
I don't think that was the play.
Nah,
they've got very lucky there with the wet conditions.
Fletcher Somerville, our lovely technical staff from Power Productions, are going to try and find us a replay on that kick because, mate, a bit of bad luck for Fletcher Somerville. You know, like, geez, you know, earlier this morning that water would have just stopped him dead in his tracks.
That's correct.
You know, there was a Olympic.
I think his foot touches the line, but Yeah.
0. Knocked
We had a
on.
quick replay there, but I thought the linesman got it right. He's pretty close. So.
Play on. Play 1.
Yeah, but that going back to that
Working
kick.
out, hold. Go.
Going back. Here we go.
it
Slow-mo here. Let's see
Watch
if he
this
touches
on
the
big
line.
screen. Slides. I saw his foot go
Meanwhile,
down on it.
Central
Right
Coast are away.
there. The
They're
right
in a
boot.
charge.
The right toe.
Central Coast are on
Here we
the
go,
charge.
and they're in the corner. Have they come back?
We good.
The referee, you heard it. We're good.
There we
And the
go.
Central Coast are back.
Game on.
2-1 with 7 minutes remaining, and they've finally found a chink in the armour down that eastern touchline.
2-1 your way.
We'll see that on the replay. Sorry, we were getting tangled up in that kick, and that was the correct call there by the referee. The touchy there earlier on that kick, and then the Central Coast have come back, and that's a little bit too big. Oh, not a good error at this in the grand final, Ross.
No, they need to keep that into play and keep the Dolphins coming off their line.
The
Yep,
momentum,
yep.
you know, they've just handed it to
It's
them on a
just-
platter on the halfway.
It's like that big balloon just, all the air was sucked out of it. What a great finish by the winger there. Great dive. It's brought him back in, but you need to follow up that great try.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
3.
Yeah, that kick, oh, what a letdown. That, you know, that could be the difference. But with 2 points to 1, 6 minutes remaining in the second half, and the Dolphins now looking to try and put this one away. But the Central Coast, they just keep turning up.
Play on.
Here we go. Nice little bit of razzle-dazzle. It comes out to this left edge. Canards gets his hand on it. There's nothing doing there. He finds a little gap through there, but goes through and his tag's off. Tries to squeeze his way through. This time they shoot back, and there's a ball gone back. It hasn't gone to target. It's put him under a little bit of pressure. Nice little chip through. Sucks in the defence, but a little bit too big, Ross.
Yeah. Again, some of the skills are fantastic. You mentioned about people watching the commentary. We got one here from Timbuktu. And interestingly enough, the guy's name's Tim. It says, Tim and I are roving went. Now we're watching the Oztag in a tent. It's outstanding.
Wow.
Timbuktu.
Wow, well, what a great place to be watching it in a tent at Timbuktu. Good
Who would
on
have
you,
thought?
Tim. It's got to be a G up. Have a look at this for a kick, and well captured there by the Dolphins. I think Tim and Timbuktu are sitting in a pub in Tamworth or somewhere.
Perhaps they are.
Here we
Perhaps
go
they
with
are.
a nice little dash, but geez, we love it. It's good talk, Tim. And hello to everyone at Timbuktu. Here go the Dolphins now. They make their way up towards the halfway, and Canard gets it out of dummy half. There's a quick settle there. They'll make their way to the centre. Central Coast trailing by 1. Just under 5 minutes remaining. A little bit of rain starting to flutter down here again. And there's a nice little chip and chase. Late tag. He calls play on, and he gives them the penalty.
Both tags are taken. He's in there. It's greatest advantage just here.
And the number 9 for the Dolphins there is genuinely injured. That's Curtis Woods. I thought he might have just been winding down the time a little bit.
Yeah, well, Bill told us all about that in the last game. They're all over that. They're doing the 3 count, so that's it. You're on the turf. You're on the canvas, mate. They're counting you to 3. Get back up and play it.
I hope Curtis is okay then.
Tag's falling off.
So the Dolphins now with another attacking raid. They look at the short side, goes himself through the middle, but that was never an opportunity. So I don't know if they're setting up for something. They seem to have a little bit of shape out here to the left. They come to the western edge, goes back inside. They're just looking for that one lazy defender or someone just to come up out of the line and create something. And he goes over, but unfortunately his tag was taken off earlier on the Dolphins.
On the line. Go 4.
So the Dolphins now, they shoot it left, and Potter, he goes back inside against the grain, nothing doing there. They go quick run out of dummy half, double cut out ball out there, but he's tagless. And the touchy's straight onto it, and he's pointing to, you can see, he said, look, he's got no tag on, sir. And that's why he's got the pink ref shirt on, mate, because he's all over it.
What great attacking play that was. And again, the Central Coast had to step up, and they've got about 1.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes to find something. Wouldn't this be great to go into extra time?
Oh, yeah, we had a great one earlier. We had a great, it was a 20s final, I think, from memory.
Yep.
Had a great match, our second or third match this morning, and I was fortunate enough to have the privilege of calling that one. But right now, the Central Coast, they're looking for an opportunity. Again, the body language is good. 6 again, they've got to bounce off.
He's jumped into
Jeez,
it.
if they had a plate on there, but he said 6 again, and then the tags come off. So Central Coast in a good position here to try and level it up. And Ross, you might have called it, mate.
Yeah,
might have called it early with 2.5 remaining.
I reckon Tim in the 10 would love extra time.
3.
So Tim at Timbuktu could be going into extras. And meanwhile, there's a little settle there. He looks for a quick play the ball. So it looked like a bit of a tactic. He's managed to get the play the ball quickly. Did that come off a hand? I don't know. He says no. So the Dolphins under pressure. Try line pressure. 2-1. They've got a hold out here. Central Coast, they don't seem to be panicking. There's a little chip through. It's come off a Dolphins foot. And he said tag was off first. So not the exact finish that Central Coast wanted, and would have been great if they got a repeat set, but Dolphins have come up with it, Ross.
Yeah, you felt that little kick was coming, though. He was just jinking and jiving and dancing around, doing a little shake and bake, and then you felt that kick was coming. It just came off legs, unfortunately. And again, not the greatest kick, but the idea was perfect. But this gives Central Coast a chance.
Yeah, play that. Yep. Play that, guys. 6 more in 10.
Oh, okay. So the referee's saying Central Coast played at it. So again, it's it's a good result for the Dolphins here. Well into halfway. They've just got to be smart here, the Dolphins. They've got to play out their set. Kick it right into the corner if they don't make too much ground, but I think they will. They're a very good attacking team.
A minute and a half remaining, so they're trying different options, left and right, round the middle. They're nearly going to put them away. The Central Coast, they've got to pull a rabbit out of their hat here. They might get a chance of a repossession unless they get the ball back in a repeat set here, the Dolphins. Like you said, they'll just play it out, Ross.
Yep, that's 3. They've got to use it up. Even if they get tagged down here, that's fine. Just don't throw a long ball for an intercept.
So Kennard grabs it, holds it, tries to suck in the defence. He sends it out to the eastern side. He finds one of his players out there. Nice little tap through, backs himself. Tags are on, but it's gone too many bounces. Wow, that could have put him to the sword. 50 seconds remaining. It's the Dolphins 2 leading the Central Coast 1 in the men's 20s.
Gee, you felt that was going to sit up for him too, didn't you? Pop up. It was a good little kick, good finish to their set.
Yeah, I just think that damp ground has kept it a little bit lower than expected, and we just went that one extra bounce. And that's footy. Here we go. Here's a nice little dash down the left side, but the Central Coast have got to pull something out and pull it out now. Because if they want to level this up and send it to extra time, this is when they've got to do it. They've got possession, so they've got an opportunity. 20 seconds remaining. Back, inside, outside. Here they come, the western touchline. The Dolphins, they're scrambling defence. Now they're going back to the left edge. There's numbers there if they can get it out there. Oh, he should have offloaded that one, I thought, Ross. So here they go. Final 10 seconds. We're only seconds away. They're on the short side. It's been played at. That's 6 again. There's numbers there if they want to send it. And the Dolphins have all come up. He taps it through, and that's it. It's all over. And the Dolphins have gone out victors here in the men's 20 in a big celebration at 2 points to 1 in what was an outstanding game over the Central Coast in the men's 20s division, Ross.
Oh, it was just a brilliant game, and what a shame that it actually finished with the limited number of errors. What a shame that it finished with a drop ball there near the end of the line. But both teams have got to be applauded. That's outstanding, Oztag. It's brilliant to watch. Great ball movement with the wet conditions. You can see all the umbrellas or people walking around with umbrellas shortly. There's a couple in the background. So it's tough conditions. But that was just brilliant, Oztag. And Tim, I hope you enjoyed it, mate.
It was a great call by you, Ross, and also Jeff Kellick. Let's get into the replays. And Jeff has actually raced downstairs to get an interview with one of the players of the match for the Dolphins. So we'll cross down to Jeff. He's on overtime. He called the match. He's going down the sideline to do the interview as well. But let's look at some of the highlights through this men's 20s final. And Ross, talk us through the action.
Yeah, well, I thought this kick wasn't the greatest one. And the Central Coast boy covered up really well, but just with the slippery field, he went into touch. He did put his foot on the line, and it ended up a great play by the Dolphins. But that could have been a bit of a turning point there with the Central Coast boys having the ball close to halfway. So it's funny, I called it. I felt it was a bit of a selfish kick. But, yeah, it's turned out brilliantly. But nothing selfish about that finish. If you see that white line close to you, you've got to get over there. I promised myself I'd never dive again after doing my AC join in Ireland, but I dived about 3 times over this weekend, Michael. Just silly thing, you don't learn I should have learnt.
Yeah, there's the celebrations for the Dolphins. And the Central Coast didn't die wondering, isn't it? On the very last play, they still had a chance to equalise.
They were fantastic. And some of their defence, there was a young boy in the Central Coast team, made some great tags. I'm not sure whether it was Joel Wiley made some great tags, and Harry Cash, the number 1, made some great tags in the centre there.